Savant.
Oh my stars! Cole Caulfield ties it.
He's in. He scores! Oh my! Demina!
What's up, Curfew Boy fans, and welcome to Season 6 of the Curfew Boys. Guys, I am very excited to be here today, but before we get things started, let me introduce you to my boys. We got Baseman Zook in the house. What's up, Zook?
Hey now.
We got GQ Chris.
Hey now.
And we got our boy, Fireman Sam, representing our
now.
Demigod t-shirt.
The Demigod t-shirt making his season debut on Sammy. I'm wearing it for the very first time since we've made these special edition t-shirts. So who
Gotta
knows
love
if
them.
they make a comeback?
Who knows, guys? Stay tuned. Guys, before get things started, we have a whole season with you guys, but if you love what you hear, you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, and like and subscribe to our beautiful YouTube channel. You get to see our beautiful faces all season long, starting now. So like and subscribe, share to all your friends and families. It's free, guys. So much content for you this season. Can't wait to get things started. Also, I would like to thank our sponsors for tonight's episode. We got Mike's Barbecue Rub. He's a Canadian company based out of Montreal, Quebec that sells barbecue rubs, sauces, and kettle-cooked chips. All of their products are proudly made and packaged here in Canada. They can be used on all types of meat, vegetables, and even fish. Their chips are kettle-cooked in Canada, and they're the only company in Canada who's using their own barbecue rubs as seasoning for their chips. They are simply fantastic. You can follow them on any social media pages such as Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. And all their products are available to purchase on their website at www.mikesbarbecuerub.com. And they ship all over Canada. And always, don't forget to rub your meat. Also, a proud sponsor of the Curfew Boys is Sunil at the Habs Cave. You can follow him on Instagram at Habs Cave. Any Habs memorabilia you think of, that guy has it in his washroom, in his room, everywhere, including toilet paper of the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Boston Bruins. This guy's an amazing guy. Loves to support the community. Good guy to talk to. Very knowledgeable. Just big-hearted guy. Give him a follow. We love you, Sunil. Guys, Habs Cave. All right, boys. Season 6 has been a whole 6 years with you fuckers. But I love you all.
Goes longer than that, especially with you.
Yeah. It's been longer than that, but seeing you
longer
almost
than
every
6 years.
second night on. Yeah, it's been longer than 6 years. But for this podcast, it's been an amazing 6 years. It's been a crazy ride with you boys, and especially the Montreal Canadiens, the ups and downs, the drama, God, it's crazy. But this season, I don't know about you guys, but I think there's a crazy vibe in the city. Everybody's looking forward to this season. And again, not to jump the gun and say that we're going to win the Stanley Cup and anything. It's just we finally have a team on paper that we're excited to watch. We've been watching them grow, especially watching, you guys watched the rebuild, season 1 and season 2. We're just
finished it the other night.
Awesome finale, because I was at that game at playoff game number 1, and just to see the behind the scenes of how they set up that whole game, right, with the entrances and it was just so nice to see.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
It was a little fast forwarded though, I found.
Oh yeah.
You think it was too fast? Yeah, because they skipped game 2 and 3 and
But I think what their objective was this year is to have it done before the actual preseason and season starts of the Montreal Canadiens. Because I think last year, episodes were still coming out during preseason, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, and I think at the beginning of the season, they still had, I think, 1 or 2 episodes coming out when the regular season started. So I'm getting the sense that maybe the Canadiens organization and Crave were like, how about we just, we cram things up a little bit and release it before the hockey season starts. It's just a sense. I don't know. I have no idea. But and it was really good. I really preferred season 2 to season 1, but I did think that it was a little bit crammed up together, and I understand why, making it out of 6 episodes instead of I think last season was like probably 8.
I think it was 8
Again,
last season,
if I'm not
but I
mistaken, again.
found this season, yes, you're right, it was crammed up, but they had a lot of behind the scenes things that we didn't see in the first season.
It was focused a lot more on the players, on the team itself, rather than the business side of the Montreal Canadiens organization. From time to time, they showed little things here and there, but it was mainly focused on the players, the coaching staff, a little bit, even management, a bit of a lot
trade
more.
deadline episode was awesome.
Yeah,
those are the players.
Those are always going to be fantastic.
There was a lot of Gorton.
Yeah,
Yes.
there was a lot of
which
Gordon.
is nice to see. Which is
exactly. So like I actually had a bit more of an appreciation for season 2 of the rebuild. I thought it was very well done. Would I have liked it to have been longer and not too cramped? Yeah, for sure. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and it's really cool. And now Prime is coming out with NHL Face Off season 2.
I'm curious to see that.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah,
I can't wait for that. Like season 1 was sick, in my opinion. I can't wait for season 2.
There's one thing that what's the word? Not miss, but like what I like about, like, I know it's a different sport, but like Drive to Survive. I'll give you an example.
Dude, absolutely.
They take some little, it's a detail, and they make it into like this like soap opera drama. I don't find they do that for the rebuild, which they could have had many opportunities to like add a little Hollywood to it to make it a little more grandiose.
But the Canadians too, don't forget, they're a little bit more on the conservative side,
right?
of
but
things
that has
too.
to change.
They're old fashioned.
No, but you know what?
They're
The
old
drama
fashioned.
was there.
It wasn't
when
as
they were
much as
trying
it
to make
could
the
have been, though.
playoffs, and then they were losing. Remember that they were showing the winning streak where they finally made the playoff spot, and then they crashed and were like in the dressing room, guys.
But I think what Zook is saying is like you don't see much of like players losing their shit.
Oh,
you know,
no.
like in Drive to Survive, like the drivers are yelling at the guys.
You have the camera following the person going to the dressing room, losing it at the engineers and this and that.
Yeah,
like that happens in hockey, and I'm sad that they don't show it. You know what I'm saying?
It for sure does, but I think the Canadians are very protective of their players. Their brand,
no, for sure.
But you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know what? You kind of saw a glimpse of maybe potentially for next season. The last part of the last episode, no spoiler alert, they were talking to
Slav. Yep.
Dude, wow.
That was intense moment when they asked him.
Major eye opener.
They asked him, how do you feel? What made you change? Blah, blah, blah. And then when he was responding like, I wasn't happy with my game, and then Hughes was saying to him, like, you can't think like that. If you're going to think like that, you're not going to play well. Like, I find that was a bit of that drama moment because they kind of like, talking to Slav and giving him that constructive criticism on TV it was nice
but
to see.
Also Jeff Gorton sent the message too, like, okay, yeah, you didn't have a bad start. You're admitting it.
What are you going to do
talking
to
talk? Well, what are you going to do to change it? That's what Marty's saying, implying you're talking the talk. Can you walk the walk now? It's like, okay, like there was a bit of an issue for of your game at the start of the season. It's like, but okay, if you want to have a better start, you got to do things better to begin with. Whether it's training in the off season, like it's tough. It's tough for a 19, 20-year-old kid. That's like, not that he's feeling on top of the world, and Slav, like, he's not an arrogant kid. He's on a straightened path, but it's still tough at that level, at that age, to find that maturity level in order to really be disciplined and stick to it, stick 100%. To the game plan of like training, practicing, and all that. He's gonna figure it out. I have no doubt. But man, he's such a key player on this team. We put a lot of emphasis on Lane Hudson, Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, pretty soon Demidov. Also, we throw in Patrick Laine in there. We're throwing in a Kirby Dach. Could he be a second-line center? If all these guys come together, they could have success. I think we're underestimating the importance of Juraj Slafkovsky needing to be a beast of a player from game 1 to game 82. And there's no doubt he's going to have dips. It's not going to be linear going upwards the entire season. but the level of consistency now for Uri Slafkovsky to really show everybody why he's the first overall pick, it's got to be this season now, especially where they're at in the rebuild, the way they went into the playoffs, the way they played in the playoffs. Slafkovsky looked great in the playoffs. I personally think he didn't look out of place.
No.
You saw, but him too, you saw how physical it gets against veteran guys with experience like the Washington Capitals. Now's the time for Uri Slafkovsky to really, okay, it's another notch now. What's your edge, like Marty said in the behind the scenes of the draft, when he spoke to the prospects at the development camp in July. What's your edge? That message has got to be sent to Slav too, and it has been. It's been sent to all the players. What's your edge, Slav? Now it's this season in October. He's got to start reaching it.
Chris, what's your take?
You talking the series, or are you talking what's to come? Because I
What's
just
to
spent the
come?
last 2 days. If you guys want to jump right into the scouting insights over the past 2 days, I've spent, give or take, 8 hours over at Complexe Sportif CN. So I will say this much, maybe as a turning point, Slav, the way that he's passing the puck with especially Suzuki and even Caulfield, insane. His shot, insane. His one-timers that he's been taking off the top of the right circle, like the right face-off circle, absolutely incredible, sniping them with absolutely insane velocity behind it. If they open that up as an option on the power play, as a shooting option on the power play, like, gonna be a ruthless follow through with what he promised at the end of the season in that exit interview with Gorton and Hughes. Evidently, as I said, they're Kirby Dach. I think that too. Super important that we be patient with this kid. In that it's gonna take him a little bit of time. I think out of all the players, like, the players look very much ready. The level of execution and like the intensity, the speed,
It's
the
insane.
tempo of everything
They're insane.
that they were going through. I've never seen this. I've followed along with training camps year after year. Have I gone to the sports complex? No, not necessarily, but I have been one of those individuals who have sat through highlight after highlight and everything that RDS and TVA and TSN, even though they don't do as much, followed through with those. And I'm just saying, they're at another level. They're a lot more prepped for the season. It seems like they're focusing on having the main team truly ready to go with one another. Again, I'm going back to Kirby Dach, so just telling everybody in advance, his passes are still a little bit rusty. I think that's the one thing that stands out the most. Other players that really stood out, like Patrick Laine, is nice and cool with the puck. He's moving a little bit better. Yeah, he's moving better.
Yeah.
Then you have what else? I mean, Arbor Jacki has been a major storyline for the past few days, but like, you can legitimately see his confidence with the puck is night and day difference. But I think that comes as a result of him having more time and space because his skating has been that much better. So at this moment in time, let's say we're talking, that's a major storyline for the camp to date. But if you were to, if we were to pick up on that subject and say who's defenseman number 6, Marty, he caught Marty's eye. I will say, last anecdote, because I mean, I want to maybe share some other things over the course of the episode and not just drop it all in one shot. But one of the biggest things that I appreciated, and I had a keen eye for it, at the end of the scrimmage yesterday, when, again, it was basically, go figure, Demidov's line versus Suzuki's line. That was basically the main division of talent between the two teams. All that to say is, look, it was Demidov's team who went on to win. All that to say is that legitimately, Arbor Jacki, the way he was skating after, I don't think there was any guy that was pushing as much. He was encouraging other players. And like I said, I had a keen eye for where Marty's eyes were going to. And every single time Arbor was coming around, like, you could see he's just peeking over. There'd be a little smile that would crack or something. Like, when he followed through with the words that he had about Arbor Jacki after, it doesn't surprise me whatsoever because he was picking up on the details and you literally saw it in front of your eyes. You saw him appreciating the effort that he's put in. So I'm telling you that there are a few really, really, really good signs. Slafkovsky, you have every right to be, like, you guys have every right to be super hyped. He's moving the puck very well and he seems freaking confident. Arbor, freaking confident, moving much better all around. Caulfield, Suzuki, midseason form. Lane Hudson somehow looks like the same player that he was in the playoffs. Anyways, before I say too much, it's been like a 4-minute rant. I mean, I didn't speak very much in the beginning, but there's a lot to build on, guys.
Oh, I saw them too. When did I go? I went Friday. I went Friday morning to watch them too. And obviously it was the line of Suzuki, Caulfield, Slav. And then it was supposed to be Kirby Dach centering Line and Demidov, but he was taken off that scrimmage lineup and put into the practice lineup. And maybe it's because they didn't feel ready. And then lo and behold, that clip of Arbor kind of taking out Kirby it was obviously accidental. Kirby Dach's body language, I'm a bit concerned about the kid. I think he's in good enough shape for the season. I just don't know what's going on with him up here. I really think and for me, that play, everybody thought, oh well, Arbor sending a message. I'll rephrase that. Not everybody, but I remember looking on Twitter, LDS posted it, and then there's a lot of comments, people saying Arbor sending a message. Arbor doesn't do that. Like Kirby Dach, he's done. If he can't do this, he's done. He's done. It's like, yo, chill. Number one. Number two, like the Arbor explained that our skates clipped each other. That's why he fell. He wasn't going. If Arbor really wanted to take out Kirby Dach on that play, he would have killed him. He would have killed him. He would have Kirby Dach would have been done for at least training camp, for the rest of training camp. But it didn't happen. And I've seen those two practice one-on-one drills, and they've been going at each other. And surprisingly enough, Kirby Dach, many times in those practice drills, those one-on-ones, he's been able to protect the puck very well against Arbor Jacki, who's in better shape this year, lost weight but gained more muscle mass, lost body fat percentage a little bit too, and which you could also tell because I saw the kid skate, and he looks faster. There's something about his skating that looks
his lateral movements out of the corners is what he said.
But he also said he's looking like he's fitting into his body. Probably finally, he's probably in peak body shape right now for the age of like 23, 24.
Not only that, though, he also mentioned that it's the first summer, I believe, since turning pro that he's not nursing an injury. Last year, he was nursing a shoulder injury. So
could make sense
in the summertime. I mean, so this summer he didn't have those. So he was just his skating. He was working on his skating strength.
Yeah.
That makes a difference. It makes
Patrick Liney's skating too. Patrick Liney looks like he's moving. And Patrick Liney's a big guy, but him too. He's finally coming into a training
to fly like Cole Caulfield. Like he's
but
twice his height.
But my point is that like he finally has a training camp and preseason to get in shape. Last year he was coming off the players' assistance program, so God knows how little time he had in the gym or on the ice. This year is completely different. He's been on the ice since August, at least with Demidov a lot of times too. He's probably hitting the gym a little bit too now. Finally, it's completely different, and it's there's that's why there's that level of excitement. There's analysts all over the province that follow this team saying, I do not recall the last time there was so many players training on the ice and putting in the work together like since August. And it's probably gonna show not just in preseason but at the start of the season.
But going back to Dach just for a second, because you had said something, Sam, about he looks good on the ice, but mentally, you don't think he's all there yet?
Yeah, sorry. Can I just finish what I want to say, Ant?
Yeah.
Because if you watch that clip when Dach kind of gets clipped, like I don't know if it's. I wouldn't go as far as say it's a wake up call, but I think in his mind he's probably thinking like, Jesus Christ, like I got to be careful. I got to do better. Like
But that's
I hope I hope he's not discouraged. I really hope. I'm rooting for the kid. I don't care what anybody else says or thinks. I'm rooting for this kid. I think his potential at full force, he could be that second line center that we all
so
want.
that's where I want to come in and say I think there's back to your comment about maybe he's not mentally there, and that has to change if you're a professional athlete. I think there's a lot of pressure on him this year for many reasons.
Yeah, there
right?
is. Of course,
Like,
there is.
Sometimes, like someone like Liney, okay, not going to take
Him
anything
too?
away from him.
Him too.
But yes, but it's his contract year. So a lot
So
of
is Dach,
players,
though. But so is Dach.
yes, but hold on, not only that, Liney is his contract year, and a lot of players that are in that contract year, they go all out. Like, you know, you
Mhm.
saw Evans last year, he just killed it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Good point.
Liney, I think he's there, but Dach, because of the injuries,
Yeah.
right, the last two
He's-
seasons that he couldn't really prove his full potential,
Yeah.
and then you see it in interviews from Gorton saying, guys, we're not looking for a second line center. Yes, if it pops up, we'll get it. But Dach is our guy, and this is his last chance. So I think that narrative going around the dressing room and to our fan base, Dach has that extra pressure. It's not just a
Mhm.
contract year where all players just want that contract at the end of the year. Dach wants to prove, well, sorry, not wants, but needs to prove to the organization that he could be a second line player, because Gorton mentioned it and said, hey, the ball's in his court now. We're giving him another chance. We don't have to give him this chance, but we want to because we have full trust in this guy. So I think that's added pressure to an athlete like that, especially after two seasons of showing a good start and then that fucking injury back to back. It fucking sucks to see because
Yeah, for
we
sure.
all said this when we did that major trade at the draft. When we got Dach, we were all happy, right? Because we got that that established player in the league, but he was injury prone, and well, we've seen it all. But quickly, I'm getting a big deja vu here because if we all rewind back to episode 1 of season 5 of the Curfew Boys, we started by saying there's a fucking vibe in the city. Patrick Liney just signed with the Montreal Canadiens. We're excited to get this season started. The team on paper is potentially a playoff team, and then boom, exhibition. We lose Dach, we lose Liney, we lose everybody.
And
So I just
Dach.
hope
We lost Liney and Reinbacker.
Liney, but then we Reinbacker, sorry, but then with Dach, we lost not long after. No,
No, him. It was towards the end of the season.
But also,
mid-season.
and I have to jump
And
in
the-
on this because it's funny what you're saying and what you're mentioning because there were 3 additional points that I want to add, but point number 1 talks directly to where you're going. I feel as though the mood is still like the camaraderie and the chemistry is clearly there, but they're dialed in. I feel as though last year there were just it was almost, I don't want to say it like this, but it was almost taken for granted. Like, holy shit, we're a better team. Like, this is exciting. This is fun. They're like, we know we're a better team. We know we're good. We have a bunch of doubters on our backs. We're gonna go prove it. But we're gonna have fun doing so. Like, I'm telling, and that's why I wanted to say, like, Nick Suzuki, I followed along, like I followed him along. It took some time. He is going around like he's holding players down on the ice, like they're laughing. He's joking. Like Nick Suzuki, you know
Oh
how
my
boring and bland he is in his interviews? I've never seen the guy having so much fun, and like he's truly coming into his own as a captain. And you can literally see the guys gravitating towards him as their true leader.
But did you
Marty's
see
pulling
that-
him aside, getting his advice
So-
for like 3-4 minutes
Did you
on
see
end.
the interview
There's
in
something
French?
like there's something there to
Yeah.
say about Nick
Did you
Suzuki.
see that
Seriously,
French interview with Suzuki? Like,
Yeah.
sorry to cut you guys off, but I think you said it perfectly about Suzuki. That guy was so talent on the ice, but outside the ice, he was socially awkward. But I think he's coming out of his shell now, and he's a fun guy to be around. Like you can see it. And then that interview that he spoke in French, I saw a whole different side of Suzuki. And continue with Chris or Sam, but Suzuki's a whole different person now. He doesn't look socially awkward anymore.
So
I think he's comfortable.
So the when I was at the scrimmage game on Friday, so a defenseman, Mark Delgazio, what's his name? Delgaizo, was actually being very, very physical, and like a couple of times he's giving shots to Vincent Rohr in the back of the head. He hit Cole Caulfield too along the boards, like a little bit hard. Nick Suzuki went up to him and gave him a shot, like on the side there, a little cross check, and for sure told him like, "Yo, buddy, like, yeah, play hard, but I don't know what kind of message. I don't even know if they exchanged words, but." To your point, Chris, like, yeah, I think Nick Suzuki is a lot more dialed in more than ever. That French interview with TVA Sport, like, is another indication that, like, he's truly, truly dedicated to this city and this organization. I think a good reason why, this is just my personal opinion, a good reason why these guys are dialed in nice and early is because when they see Jeff Gordon and Kent Hughes making moves to go get Noah Dobson, to go get Zachary Budzirk too, like really add in players, not just on defense, but among the forwards that could help this team go to that next level they want this rebuild. How could you not be motivated if you're Nick Suzuki, if you're the captain of this team? You know what I mean? I personally think that played a very, very big role. Just the moves that they made, not exactly in the offseason, but just those two moves alone. If it excites us as members of the fan base, can you imagine Nick Suzuki? What he's thinking? Not just Nick Suzuki, but all the other players too. It's I'm telling you, man, I don't want to put too much. I'm trying not to put too much pressure and expectations on this team, which is, we could kind of sort of get into that. But I saw a tweet on Instagram by I think it's Eric Macramella. So if I'm mispronouncing his name, it's like, if the Canadiens don't make the playoffs this year, is it a disappointment? Yes or no? I say so. I'm going to say this
to the players. I think it would be a huge disappointment.
No, to me too. I say disappointment, but I would never go as far as saying that this season is a failure.
No, but see,
so I would say, yeah, I would be definitely disappointed. Yes, especially after last year and where they're supposed to be at in terms of the progression and stage of this rebuild. But I wouldn't go as far as say, like, is this season a failure? They actually asked Jeff Gordon that, and he said it too. He's like, I wouldn't say it's a failure, but we definitely want to make the playoffs.
It depends. It depends how they don't make the playoffs.
Yes.
Good point.
That's a very good point. Okay. But if you guys remember in the rebuild, I think it was the second to last episode, or maybe the last episode, we need to set this expectation. I know we're excited and we have that vibe in the city, and on paper, we're a playoff team. And like you said before, we're dialed in, and this year's a different year than last year, blah, blah, blah. But Hughes made a specific comment in the rebuild, which made me overthink this. He said, after a season like we had that just finished, a lot of teams the year after, what's the word he used? Oh, fuck, I lost my train of thought.
They regress.
They regress. After a season like they had last year, there's always a regression the year after. It's not a fact, but a good chance that it could be a regression. And he hopes it doesn't happen, but we need to set that expectation that it's a possibility that there could be a regression.
But did you see
and Hughes said it?
Did you see what Marty said in one of his training camp post-practice interviews? I think it was the first one. It must have been. It was either a Monday or Tuesday when they first started. This is the biggest eye-opener I ever saw coming from Marty. He goes, he didn't properly manage or handle the whole injury issues at the beginning of October.
Yeah.
And he admitted and I'm sort of paraphrasing. I'm not saying this word for word, but he admitted that, like, he took a very, very cautionary road to make sure guys don't get injured. Like, in a sense, he was saying that we were playing in a way that we were sort of afraid of getting injured again. So Haka would be very conservative. Exactly. Oh, yeah. That's a good way to explain.
We even said it on episodes last year, dude.
Possibly, but the fact that he's admitting it, and again too, it's like we also tend to forget that he's a young coach too, and he's also learning throughout this entire process. And the fact that he's able to admit that, and now take that as a major learning lesson. Don't worry about the injuries. Don't play to protect yourselves in order to not get injured. And I can understand too, like the hype of Laine, and then boom, you'd lose him. David Reinbacher, even though he was meant to be in Laval, but you got like it was like a fucking
You never know
cloud.
that guy.
it was a black cloud on top of a domino effect that we never wanted. So again, I don't know if it was Chris that said or Anthony that said, yeah, we feel like last year, like there's a vibe, like no, this year there's a lot more. Demidov is actually starting with the Canadiens in day freaking one. You know, Lane Hudson is coming off a Calder Trophy winner, and like Zook, you just said it, he hasn't even scratched the surface yet, which is scary. So there, and then just the follow through of the playoffs, like I'm sure these kids, they were just itching to get back on the ice and pick up from where they left off from the playoffs.
For sure, they learned. You know, it's like in a book, right? You're reading towards the end of the book, where the pages are closing, right? So that's what they learned last year. Now they're at chapter 5 instead of chapter 2. So where I could see the regression perhaps happen is the fact that globally this season, the team is slightly younger because we lost veterans like Savard and things like that. That's where I could see perhaps when things go bad, that dressing room vet presence might downgrade.
And those are the players that helped us last season
100%.
towards the end. The Armias, the Dvoraks, the Savards.
But we still have the Gallaghers, the Andersons, and now Suzuki's becoming, he's a young vet. He's been with the team. He's been through everything. He's been through several playoffs, cup runs. Yeah, it's a tricky thing to really.
That's a fair point.
That's a very good point.
So on that note, Zook, I would say, the reason why I'm a little bit more optimistic is because I don't think there are going to be these big. I don't want to call it a momentum swing because usually say momentum swing within the middle of a game, but I think there were just really big highs and lows where they would go on these 5-game winning streaks and then 6-game losing streaks, and
that can't happen this season.
I don't think we're going to see that. I think when we're talking about, let's say, how do we evaluate the season and how would we judge whether or not to be, if in the case they do not make the playoffs, what would be a failure? Well, I would say if they go on these major losing streaks, that would be a significant problem, barring any injuries. Correct. On another note, too, you guys talked about, pressure. You guys talked about Demidov being here and all this. I will say something that also stood out like a positive sore thumb. Everything is running through Demidov. Everything on the ice.
Do you think it's bad?
I don't want to say it like this, but Dach, but I'm just saying Dach and Laine are complementary to Demidov. The play, what I found, I'm going to bring up another subject too, because there were some, what I believe to be false power play lines, because they divided up the practice into multiple teams, the guys who are going to be playing Monday and the guys who are going to be playing Tuesday. We didn't actually have the capacity to have all of those guys on the ice at the same time and see 2 true power play units. So the units that we were seeing again today, September 21st, were inaccurate. I guarantee those will not be the units. But one thing, again, that stood out once again is you're going, holy shit, whether it was Dobson, whether it was Laine, whether it was Dach, every single one of these guys was looking for Demidov, and Demidov was basically running the show across the board. Across the board anytime.
But I think that all comes down to that interview at the end of the season when Gorton's like, yeah, there's some teams that have a line where it's the winger that drives the line. It's still yes. To this day, it's extremely hard to not think that he's talking about Ivan Demidov.
Dude,
and talking about Kaprizov coming here too. No,
okay, we're getting Kaprizov, and next thing you know, we're getting McDavid too. Okay.
McDavid too, with Crosby arriving later for a 5th round.
But throw in Malkin in the mix too. Apparently, there's rumors the Canadiens are interested in him. But anyways,
what?
Yeah, it just came out.
One
I want to go back.
I don't like that one.
Me too.
I want to go back to what we were saying.
I'm done with those rumors.
I want to go back to what we were talking about before in regards to, seeing the mistakes from last season and not bringing it to next season. To me, I don't want to see catch-up hockey anymore because we did that all
no,
fucking season long.
And fuck, God bless you for saying that, man, dude.
Because not only that, we were playing playoff hockey from December 15th all the way to the playoffs. We made the playoffs at the end. The boys were tired.
Big
right?
time.
I don't want to see that. I want to have.
I need to throw in something in there too, Ant, once you're done.
Yeah,
God bless you for
pretty much
saying
that. No more catch-up hockey. We're a young team. Yes, we're young. We probably have more energy, more energy and athletic power, if you want to call it, compared to the rest of the league. But doesn't mean anything. We can get tired so fast, and we cannot see this year.
Guys,
no more losing streaks and no more catch-up hockey.
Absolutely, you want to avoid catch-up hockey. I cannot express this enough this year, and I'm going to be repeating this in future episodes, and I don't care, and it doesn't matter. When we get brand new listeners and subscribers, they're going to want to hear this too. Guys, the power play this year needs to be phenomenal if the Canadiens want to go. If the Canadiens, I'm telling you now,
I wanted to ask you what percentage would
so look, I
think would be phenomenal for this.
Zook
25%.
Last year, the Canadiens, they were 21st in the league out of 32 with a 20.1 power play percentage.
Okay.
And yet they still managed to squeeze by the skin of their teeth. Game 82 make the playoffs. It can't be that way anymore, though. They need to be within the top 16. The top 16 is at 22%. Not even Dallas. Dallas was at 22 right on the dot. Hey, they made the playoffs and they went.
Where was Florida by, just for fun, just shits and giggles?
Florida Panthers. I have everything over here. Florida Panthers in 13th place with a 23.5. Winnipeg Jets 28.9% on the power play. Vegas Golden Knights, New Jersey Devils, surprisingly. Detroit Red Wings, surprisingly. And again, I'm not saying it's got to be everything is about the power play, but it's going to play a major role.
That makes those key games.
The Canadiens, they need to average 3-4 goals this year, almost per game. If they want
last season,
for them to make the, and again, I want to add to Anthony's point again. They need to make the playoffs before April-ish. They need to make the game by game what? Let's give or take. There's 82 games.
70.
No,
game
by
70,
game
70.
I'm going.
They should have a very good understanding.
I'm going but I'm also here thinking if
game
they make
70, you're in that wild card spot. If you're not in the playoffs yet, at game 70, then you're in a wild card spot.
But that's what I think they're going to be. I don't think they're going to be in the final wild card spot. I think they're going to be in the first wild card spot. So for me, it's got to be between game 70, 72, 73, probably. I'll be happy with that. If it's after that, we're going to be in another fucking panic state again. Hopefully it doesn't come down to game 82. That power play, guys, they score. And there's another stat here. I'm going to get goals for. Hold on a sec. Goals for. They were, mind you, 17th overall at 243. If they could get that magic number, 250, if they could reach 250 with an excellent power play percentage, they're making the playoffs. I don't want to say guarantee. A very, 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 very good chance they make it.
What's their goals against?
Their goals against was surprisingly 10th place with 261.
Wow.
So if you're looking for at goals for per game, the Montreal Canadiens average again in 17th spot, not so bad. The Canadiens average a 2.96 goals for per game. The problem with that, they averaged a 3.18 goals against and per game. And that put them.
Aiden Primo factored into that. Don't forget.
Yeah,
maybe it was that. But they need they're gonna have to average. They're gonna have to be in the three goals for per game percentile. They have to reach that number. Michel Teddier always said, you scored 3 goals a game, there's a good chance you're gonna win. But mind you, he had a Carey Price to back him up.
I don't think they have anything to worry about in terms of the power play. I think they're going to be much more dominant. And again, it's just Let's talk Moneyball over here. Statistically speaking, it's a borderline impossibility that they're going to take a step back. There are so many elements that make them better. They have 2 full units. We're beating a dead horse here, guys. But what they're going to have to look out for is they have 1 complete unit to determine and figure out who's going to be playing the second wave of the PK. So talk about keeping goals off the board. That is the only like I'm not worried. Again, power play lines are going to be a joke to mishmash and play around with, and there are still subs waiting in the wings to go at any given point in time. If we were to ask the question, who, and I'm not talking about maybe Newhook, maybe this player, maybe that player. Do we know? We still don't know. The honest to God truth is that this training camp is only gonna be an experimentation period to see who that second wave on the PK is gonna be.
I kind of like how Marty was hinting that Newhook could probably be used on the penalty kill a lot more than we think. You know what I mean? I think Alex Newhook, he's going to be a guy where there's actually 2 players I really think at their stage in their career, one's younger than the other, but Alex Newhook amongst the forwards, what's your role going to be? Like, especially now that Demidov is here and also that Zachary Bolduc is here. And on defense, especially, we saw what Lane Hudson has done and what is going to do. Noah Dobson is here now, which, by the way, I love Noah Dobson. He's big. He's freaking big. He's bigger than what we think. Mike Matheson, he's going to be another major question mark in terms of him too. Contract year. And what is your role going to be like now that Caden Goalie looks like he's progressed? Like he's worked on his shot. He's got a shot, the kid. It's just a wrister. It's insane. Lane Hudson, like I mentioned, Noah Dobson, like I mentioned, with those 3 pretty much locked long term, besides Layton Hudson, but it's going to get done. I'm not worried. What is Mike Matheson's role going to be this year? And what's going to happen with him?
Everyone, that's going to be
that he wants to stay on this team forever, but it's like at what numbers, at what cost?
How old is he now? 32.
He's like 30, 31.
30, yeah.
He's 30, 31 around. So
yeah, I don't know.
There's another big question surrounding him.
We just need these guys to stay healthy. I mean, I think if we can stay 95% healthy this season, we can see a really, really good team in front of us. You know, and question for you guys. I don't know if you want to jump into this right now, but goalies.
Yes.
What's your goalie intake? Do you see Fowler playing one NHL game this season? No?
No.
Do you think Dobej and Monty are gonna?
Dude, don't count out Kakkonen just yet.
I just think that would be a fucking major mistake. I think it's worthy of the F word being dropped over here because that would be a crucial mistake if they had Kakkonen here. I think Dobeš has so much to learn, and if Dobeš is not going to be playing down in the minors or not absorbing at the NHL level, then it's a complete waste. Kakkonen, I'm sorry to say. Look, it's either Monty's going to stick around for a long while or Dobeš is going to stick around for a long while. I think we're all in agreement that one of those 2 are going to be the backup in the eventuality to Fowler. So why in the hell would you waste any development time at it's Fowler's game in the AHL? It's nobody else's. Kakkonen should be a bench warmer, sorry to say this, and he should be a mentor and a support for Fowler for his respective development. So if Dobeš would be to be in the minors, it would be one of the season's biggest failures. That's my opinion.
I think I agree with that statement.
Well, but if Dobeš is going to be with the Canadiens, he's got to play. Like you can't
even if it's a 60-40 split, that's perfect. I'm great with that.
Yeah.
Even if it's a 65-35, I'm still okay with that.
I wouldn't mind seeing more like 50-50. And it depends too. Like if whoever has the hotter streak, like you got to continue. You got to continue with that. And I think the Canadiens are finally in a good position to do that. Like it sucks to say, but
we need to establish our number 1. I think that's important because we've been having this goalie issue for so long.
An unpopular opinion on this side, and I still think this is up for debate. I'd love to hear your opinion on it, but I think Dobish has a higher ceiling than Monty.
Which one? Or say that again. Sorry.
I
Yeah,
think Dobish has a higher ceiling than Monty. I don't think that he's a better goaltender versus Monty, and I don't think he's your starter. But Sammy mentioned 50-50. If 50-50 is the case, I'm doing backflips. I would love to see more. I'd love to see more Dobish playing. To be 100% honest with you,
Yeah.
and again, I think of the eventuality, the sad reality is, Dobish is likely going to make for a better backup to Fowler, and Monty is going to be deserving of that starting opportunity elsewhere, and that's why.
I don't know what it is, but I again, when Monty is in his zone, I like him. I really like him.
It's great.
Yeah,
And I found a new love for him in the rebuild episode when he got emotional in the playoffs when he got hurt.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you saw that episode. That
Yeah, it
really
was a tough break. Yeah.
it got to me. It got to me. Like you can tell that and we said this before, and we're gonna keep saying this. I think the whole team is dialed in and they want to be there. The emotions we feel on these players, like, Marty crying in the dressing room. You saw that on TV.
That was,
Monty was crying, like not crying, but you saw the emotion in his
they
eyes.
got emotional for sure.
I think the whole team has a love for each other, and that's what's gonna really help this team progress and move forward together.
Absolutely. But to go back to Chris's point, Chris, Montembeault is not getting any younger, man. He's at 28 years old. Like this is
And
the
Thomas,
opportunity to be
35.
a starter. Yeah,
No,
I get
he's,
it. But
he's the starter. I'm not debating that, Sam. I'm not even getting remotely close to saying Sam Montembeault is the guy. There's no debating that, and there's nobody in Montreal that's going to convince. If you were the one who said if it's 50-50, I'm saying that sounds even better. I'm expecting it to be like a 60-40 or 65-35 split. But if they play Dobish more, I'd be happier. Am I expecting that? No. That's where I'll leave it at.
I don't know. Nobody knows what's gonna happen with these two. It's like I truly believe this is a bit of a, not an audition, but an eventuality to be like, who's good enough to back up Jacob Fowler one day. And I don't know if Montembeault's going to be a starter in another team one day. I don't think so.
There's an argument to be like, if I'm the Edmonton Oilers, I take Sam Montembeault over Skinner any day of the week. And that's the thing. The question you're asking, is he good enough to be a starter? I think the question has to start being asked, are either of these two guys too good to be a backup?
It's fair. It's fair, but to me, for Dobish to be a starter anywhere, like he has to play. He's got to be on the 60 percentile side of things if you're going to split games 60-40. If Dobish wants to be a starter, like you're going to have to reverse it. And I love the guy. I love Dobish. I'm not 100% convinced that he could be that. I'm a little bit more than 50% convinced, pushing it 60, but there's a couple of times where like the kid is lights out, and then there's a couple of times where you're like, okay, how did that go in?
He's still young.
But that's the thing. He is still young. He's still relatively young in the league, and goaltenders take time. We get it. And this is why I go back to Anthony's question. Jacob Fowler, dude, you give him the exact same route like Jakob Dobish had in Laval, where he played 52 games out of 72 in one season. Definitely hit 50 games. I don't know if it was 52 exactly. You give the kid 50 games in Laval, Jacob Fowler, and I guarantee you, not this season, next season, he's going to be fighting for a spot. Oh, he's definitely. But then next season, not this one, Sam Montembeault is going to have a contract year. Jakob Dobish, both Montembeault and Jakob Dobish are going to have a contract year. So next season, not this one, next one, what do you think those guys are going to be battling it out for? They're definitely, one of them's going to have to stay, but only one of them could stay.
If you think about it, their contract year is like you said it before, that audition. It's this year Because if Fowler is going to be potentially ready next,
Yes.
you're not
Yes.
seeing Dobej and Monty playing back to, you know what I mean? Like, this is the year where Monty and Dobej have to prove themselves, because when next year comes and if Fowler shows a good training camp.
Right.
Fowler, for Fowler, it's just 1 second, Zook, and I'll say this. For Fowler to really demonstrate that he's ready to go next season, like he's got to have not an incredible winning record in Laval, but like he's got to be one of the top young goalies of the minors of the AHL.
I honestly think it's going to be, like, in terms of scenario, it's going to be Montempo leaving. He's going to try to want to prove to himself that he's able to be a starter in a team that's pretty decent already and established within the NHL, and go for a run with that. I see Dobes being with the Canadiens for the long run, backing up either Fowler. That's the only
exactly
probable
the way
scenario
that I
that
see it.
makes sense on my eyes right now. Yeah.
You know, I wish I could see it that way, guys. For some reason, I get the feeling that Montembeault is going to be Fowler's backup one day.
I don't see that.
Simply because of a veteran, having a veteran goaltender.
I think that depends
to kind of
on,
help him out. I don't know. I can't shake this feeling off. Is it what I want? Just 2 seconds. Is it what I want? I don't know. And I love Jakub Dobeš. Like, I don't want him to go either. I'm trying to think what would make the most sense to kind of have that that guide to help Jacob Fowler become the number one in the Montreal Canadiens.
Dobeš is young, yes, but he's been building experience. He was playing in the playoffs last year. Like, he's not
because
like
of
a
the
total
Montembeault injury, though.
green goalie. You know what I'm saying? He's played significant games at the AHL level as well. So, like, he's not a
but
baby,
Zook,
you know?
he hasn't.
Like,
if Montembeault never gets injured, Dobeš is never seeing a game in the playoffs, and it's okay, and that's okay. I'm not. It's not because it is because they have a lot more trust in Montembeault. Maybe Montembeault at that time was the better goaltender, but you know what I mean. Whereas Fowler has professional hockey playoff, so does Jakub Dobeš, but Fowler went in because Laval at one point they're like, well, Fowler's playing great, I gotta play him. Then he had a bad game. Okay, I'm putting in Primo, and Primo's having a good game. Okay, keeping him. Oh shit, Primo had a bad. Primo got pulled twice. In that series, like, and to no fault of his own, but like, I kind of feel like it's weird. I think right now, in terms of not experience, but Jacob Fowler is slowly approaching Jakub Dobeš a little bit, or like he's following in the same footsteps a little bit. But the big thing about all of this is that Jakub Dobeš never had professional hockey experience until these coming playoffs. Sorry, never had professional playoff experience. Whereas Jacob Fowler, he went right in it practically. He didn't get a shutout in one of his games, but one of his first professional playoff game, like, he was outstanding. You know what I mean? So it's I know the wheels are in motion and set for Jacob Fowler. Right now, the big question this match was going to have to decide who's going to be the best backup for him
this season will play.
But I think this depends on where we are at the end of the season and the beginning of next, right? For example, I see both sides, Sammy and Chris. So Chris, I do see a Monty going to Edmonton to be the number one goalie, right? Depending on, is Fowler and Dobeš ready to, is Dobeš and Fowler ready to bring this team? Because look, last season, what did I say? We are a wild card team, 82 game clinch, or not making the playoffs by 1 point. That's how I started last season. Episode 1, I said we're making it at the last game. We're not making by 1 point.
In the mix. That was the pure definition of in the mix. They didn't use that term anymore.
This season, they're a playoff team. That's how I see it this year. We're not. I think we're gonna be in a fixed spot by game 60, 65. We'll be like, okay, we're in the playoffs. I think that's where the direction we're going this year. Now, next year, if we're going to be a playoff team this year, there's a good chance this management wants to potentially be a contending team the year after, or another back-to-back playoff game or whatever. That's when we get to that point, again, this is just hypothetical talk here, and we don't know where we're going to be. Like we said before, we could be at a season that we digress and we're not making the playoffs at all this year. So it all depends on where we are at the end of this season, how the look of this team is going to be. The what's the word I'm looking for? The whatever
Identity.
the identity of this team at the end of this season will determine, do we need an experienced goalie for next season to contend, or do we want to continue this rebuild and build the Fowler and Dobej? I think that's where we're going to find out next year where Monty fits in.
I want to
Because
add. I
experience
really
is
want to.
important.
No, you're 100% dead on, and I think that's where I have my theory and my opinion. No fact behind it all, but the way that I'm seeing it is, again, rather than telling you, how do you guys foresee, whether it be next year, whether it be 2 years, whether it be 3 years from now, how do you foresee Fowler's first season? Give or take, what percentage of the games do you think Fowler is going to get when he's finally a Montreal Canadien playing a full season?
40.
Yeah, he's gonna have to play the games. And again, I'm predicting he's gonna split duties with, if it's Monty or if it's Dobej. I truly believe that. And especially now, look at, like, unless the Montreal Canadiens they no longer have a Carey Price. They don't have a Connor Hellebuck. They don't have a Sergei Bobrovsky. They don't have an Andre Vasilevsky type of goalie. The goalies that they have now, it's not one of those guys that could play 40, like more than 50 games. They don't have that type of goaltending right now.
Right.
And I truly and I say this, I don't think Jacob Fowler is going to be the type of goalie that plays,
hold on, Sammy,
60 plus games. I could definitely see him play 50 plus games.
I want to counter that though, Sammy. What you just said about Fowler's not being able to play 60 games. I don't know about that, because if you look at the way he plays goaltending,
his
if you will,
his style
to me is very, what's the word? I'm going to use the wrong
Simple?
word here.
Simple?
Benign, white. But that's good. That's what you want.
It's
vanilla
solid, bland.
It's vanilla. It's vanilla, yes. Which means he's technically there. He's not doing these acrobatic things that wreck your body and this and that. He could play a long season if he's healthy, first of all.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I don't know. I could see him potentially playing over 60 games. Yeah, why not?
Maybe.
But it's all hypothetical, because
it's all hypothetical.
But
you see the way he's coming up. You see the way, like, the data in front of him. It's there. We could see how his technique and whatnot. He's only going to get better for it. Yeah. Anyhow.
No, but the reason for my question and asking you guys, what do you foresee? Like, I'm saying it for two reasons. Number one, I hope that when the time comes, Fowler has to get enough playing time immediately out of the gate when he gets to the NHL, but they cannot pull another Carey Price where they just hand over the keys, they trade away Cristobal Huet, team's yours, buddy, trade away Jose Theodore, then he has, like, that cannot happen. I think that mistake was, in that sense, like, look, Carey Price made it through, and he made it through as a clear victor, but just to say, he went through a much harder time than he needed to go through because of that. And when that time comes, this is my fear, and this is why I lean a little bit more towards Dobej as being the ideal backup or tandem partner, because I do see Monty, again, higher salary cap, higher likelihood of being a starting goaltender versus Dobej by the time Fowler comes in. And I see it as being more complementary. Like, Monty is going to command more games to get you further, but that's going to hinder Fowler's progress. The only situation in which I say, like, you risk losing Dobej and then having Monty go away, it's much easier to find an older veteran goaltender to come in and help than it is to, let's say, find a proper backup that's going to be mindful and willing to share the crease, a la Linus Ullmark and Jeremy Swayman. So that's why I'm leaning a little bit more towards Dobej. I think, again, salary cap, favorable split between the games, good at showing the ropes. The only problem is going to be if the Canadiens are in a position to contend, then they're going to need a better goaltender. Fowler might not be ready. Dobeš might not be strong enough, and then Monty. So that's the flip side of the argument. So it goes both ways, guys.
Yeah.
Really.
We'll see this year.
That's gonna be a management problem. Boys, preseason starts Monday night against the Pittsburgh Penguins. They sent out as the I guess the training camp groups as of September 21st. I'm just gonna share it over here. I mean, Chris, you were at the practices the last 24 to 48 hours. All right, here you have it.
Is that on accurate? Yeah.
So
So should we read it out just for
Well, I mean,
anybody who's
yeah,
not viewing?
for listening, obviously Group A, you got Josh Anderson, Beck, Belzil, Condora, Dach, Davidson, Demidov, Evans, Farrell, Gallagher, Kapanen, Laine, Meshar amongst the forwards. On defense, you have Klerman, Delgaizo, Dobson, Engstrom, Matheson, Struble. And defense, foreshadowing, Jacob Fowler and Sam Montembeault. That's Group A. Group B, Samuel Blais, Bolduc, Caulfield, Newhook, Rohrer, Roy, Slafkovsky, Suzuki, Thorpe, Tuck, Veleno, Florian, Jackeye. That's a pretty good group of forwards. Wow. On defense, Carrier, Goalie, Hudson, Paquette, Bisson, Ryan Backer, Jackeye. That's pretty good too. And the goaltenders are Dobeš and Kakkonen. Wow. Okay. Talk about battling out for the backup spot. Group C, which is kind of like, looks like a minor league lineup, but nonetheless, Laurent Dauphin, Denis, Dunlap, Estapa, Goriunov, Kidney, Mianskum, Xavier Simoneau. On defense, Louis Jean, Martin, O'Rourke, Protz, Beast, by the way, he's a big kid, Willie, and then on goaltenders, it's Jones, Gaudreau, and Kevin Mandolese. So, Chris, you said the final group that was practicing is going to be the one that's going to be playing
tomorrow. So yeah, we should be seeing Suzuki, Slafkovsky, Caulfield, Bolduc first time. That's another thing too, just on a side note. Bolduc, I got to see him spend some time taking some shots at the end of practice. Insanely good.
He's got a great release.
Great release. I will say I am dying to see him play against another team because he is clearly holding back. You know, guy coming to a new team, doesn't want to be frustrating guys, not going to be running them through the boards, but that's his style of play. Like he plays a little bit more of an edgy game. And for that reason, he's probably the player that I'm most excited to see. Guys, I am telling you, look out.
I want to see.
I'm hoping I'm hoping that it's not just a practice fluke, but look out for Slafkovsky and the way that he's moving and shooting the puck. I think he is going to deliver. He's going to deliver.
No,
and Florian, of course.
And I knew for sure Florian's big, man. Florian, that kid got big, but then when you see him like really close up, he's big. He's a big. Caden Gooley too. He's big too. Ryan Backer is big. Jack, obviously Arbor is Arbor. But I one thing I'm very happy, and I knew Marty was going to do this, is split the top two lines, the Slafkovsky, Caulfield, Suzuki. They're going to play one game, and then in another game, you're going to have the Dach, Demidov, and Laine start. So if it's really Group B over here, that's going to get the start against Pittsburgh on Monday night, and then Tuesday night we'll probably be seeing Group A against the Philadelphia Flyers. And I think Zook's going to be there. Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
You're telling me Thursday I'm going to see fucking Group C?
You're going to see nobody.
Yeah. You're going to see a bunch of...
Getting back your tickets. They revoked your tickets. You're not allowed in the Bell Center.
If Group C is Thursday, I'm selling those tickets for like $10.
I don't know.
It's not a bad idea.
And I'd be curious to know when they're going to start making cuts too. I don't think it's going to be after Monday's night tilt. I don't know if it's going to be a Tuesday night.
It won't be.
I'm curious to know, and I'm curious to see if it's going to be starting Thursday or after Thursday's game.
I could see after Tuesday.
Yeah, maybe. There's 6. Like this season's going to be the final season where there's 6 preseason games. Then it's going to drop to 2. And it's going to be 2 extra games in the regular season once the new CBA kicks in the 2026-27 NHL season. However, I get the feeling we are going to see. I want to see Newhook with Bolduc for sure, because I am predicting that to be a third line on the Montreal Canadiens. I'm predicting to see Bolduc play with Newhook, and I want to see Josh Anderson play on that line too, but he's in Group A, so very, very, very curious to see. But I actually really like Group B's lineup right now.
Yeah,
I really, really, really do. I think this is a decent lineup going in, both forwards and defense. Dobesh and Kakinen obviously is great, but I think this one's a little bit more well balanced than Group A. Like Group A, like, yeah, Owen Beck, Alex Belzil, yeah, you know he's not gonna make Condada. Like, yeah, okay, I love the guy, but no, Jared Davidson, Anthony's favorite.
it's the defense that makes all the difference. I would say more than anything.
Yeah,
There's
for sure.
There's 4 true NHL defenders versus you have Dobson, Matheson, and Struble as your arguably 7th versus Carrier, Goalie, Reinbacher, Jackeye, and
true.
Hudson.
Oh, that's very true. No, that's super, super, super interesting. But it's exciting, man, and I'm curious to see if they kind of change the list on Monday morning. Before, but I mean, one thing that's going to determine is who's going full out on practice, full tilt Monday morning compared to who's not going to be on the ice. So, no, that's interesting. That's a sign hockey's back, baby. Hockey is back. It actually started on Sunday. A lot of preseason games. You know, the Battle of Ontario took place. There was a bunch of fights. I think Pizzetta got into a fight,
of course,
with his brand new team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. What else here? There's still a bunch of games going on as we're recording. The Battle of Alberta is going on.
The Mammoth are playing.
Yeah, the Mammoth are playing. They're 0-0. The Kraken beat the Canucks. What's going on here? The Rangers beat the Devils. Predators beat the Panthers. Yeah, okay. Like Florida's all worried. Toronto beat the Senators. Blue Jackets beat the Blues. Logan Mailloux got an assist on Justin Carbonneau's goal Saturday evening. No, it's great. Hockey's back, boys. I'm so pumped. I'm super pumped. I'm super
just
excited.
hope I get to see someone on Thursday. Fuck.
You'll get to see Marty.
I'm working Monday evening, so you guys know what we're going to be doing at work Monday evening. Tuesday evening, I'm working too. So Monday night, Tuesday, or Monday evening, Tuesday evening.
Getting paid to watch the Habs, baby. Let's go.
Hey, you know what? I cannot complain. I can't complain. But you guys, Zook's going on Tuesday. Ant, you're going on Thursday. You lucky bastards, as always.
I swear, if I see lineup number 3 Thursday, I just might not show up. I'm just joking. I'll be there.
No, that's the thing that I was trying to get to. Group C, no offense to them, but they didn't even allow them on the same ice sheet as the rest of
they segregated them. But Group C would be playing alone.
They're there in case.
No,
they're there just in case another one of the teams brings a degenerate lineup and they want to play a brawler style game. That's the only reason why they haven't been cut yet. Exactly.
No, I think Thursday will be a mix of,
for sure.
No, we'll see.
No, but they'll be cuts done before.
They're gonna gauge Monday evening's game. Actually, and then they'll see who they think is going to play for Philly on Tuesday. Right. They're going to gauge it.
Break, and then there's Thursday.
I'm not too worried. I'm not. I think, like I said, Marty's learned his lesson from last season. Are they going to be a little bit more on the cautious side? Yeah, probably. But I don't want to throw that out to the universe either, right? So let's not have the same thing happen like last season, because it's enough now. We have nice things. Can we keep nice things, please and thank you? That's all I'm asking.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right, wrap it up.
Wrap it up. We're good to go,
it all, boys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed our episode 1 for season 6. Looking forward to giving you amazing content all season long. If you love what you hear, please listen to us on any podcast platform such as Apple Music, Spotify, or Google Podcasts, or any podcast platform you guys like to listen to. Also, you can follow us for more content on Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok, and you can follow us on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. You get to see our beautiful faces all season long. Thank you to our sponsors. We got Habs Cave and Mike's Barbecue Rubs. You can see their information on our page when we post this episode. Guys, I'm excited. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen.
Less than 24 hours away. Here we go. Puck drop. Preseason. It starts.
Until next time, ladies and gentlemen. Bye now.